Hello and welcome to the first issue of Paperdolls for Might and Magic 3, Isles of Terra. So here I am now using HeroMachine 3 instead of HeroMachine 2 that I was using for the previous two games. It's a bit less restrained in regards to what you can do, but it's also a bit more complicated to use and takes a bit more time to customize everything. And I think some of the views are a bit more constrained than they were before, but that's because you can mix and match things now. So overall I think it's a pretty good improvement. So anyway, here you are looking at Jonathan Archer, the male good human knight, with his highest stat being Might at 17, which is by the game standards called High. And he is an arms master and a swimmer. In his equipment list we have the leather gauntlets that look quite like gloves because they're leather, leather boots, then a shield, a cutlass, and leather armor. So if things don't have any qualifier, just shield and cutlass, I assume that they're something, some kind of an iron variety. The thing is that iron is a bit better than things without a modifier, while bronze is a bit worse than things without a modifier. So it's something between iron and bronze, and I don't really know what that could be. So I just show it as a form of iron. And yeah, leather. I think that in HeroMachine 3 you can get some really nice views. Like here the leather armor for Archer looks really dapper, I should say. Though not always I can get correct faces going on in HeroMachine 3. It's a bit more difficult here. And right now he looks quite young, which is fairly fitting, considering that everyone starts at 18 technically. Yeah. Alright, so let's move on to the next character. Next up is Malcolm Reed, the male good human paladin, with his highest stat being personality and endurance, both at 15, which is very good. He is a crusader and a swimmer, and in his items we have scale armor. It's a bit unfortunate that the HeroMachine 3 doesn't have that many good scale armors, though I don't think HeroMachine 2 had very good scale armors either. But yeah, he also has a regular shield, the same leather boots, and he also has a short sword. I hope it's not clipping out. And also a short bow. That's one very useful thing that the HeroMachine 3 manages to do. Usually you cannot put bows on the back, but since HeroMachine 3 is so customizable, you can just take an item that is supposed to be held in hand and simply put it into the back plane. Very useful. Alright, so that is that, and let's go to the next character. Next is Thelak Shran, the male evil elf robber. Well, technically an Andorian. His highest stats are Might, Endurance, and Luck at 14. All of these are rated good. He is a thief, obviously. In his equipment list we have a short sword, again scale armor, then another shield, leather boots, and leather gauntlets. not that much different from what Malcolm Reed had. So interesting how apparently Shran has a first name that was never mentioned in Star Trek Enterprise itself. It's from some of the books about it. But yeah, overall it turned out pretty well in HeroMachine 3, quite true to the original, I should say. Alright, so let's go to the next character. Phlox, the male neutral gnome druid. Although technically he is supposed to be a denobulan. His highest stat is currently... Stats are intellect, personality, and endurance, all at 15, which is rated very good. Interesting thing about druids, and it's quite different in this game compared to the others, is that druids get spell points depending on the mean value between their intellect and personality, unlike clerics who only get it per personality rating, or sorcerers who get per intellect. That means that druids in this game are a bit more difficult to maintain, because they need to get both intellect and personality up. However, they might get more spell points out of that, because at the moment Phlox has 6 spell points with 15 and 15, while T'Pol has 8 for 18 intellect, and Hoshi for 16 intellect has only 5. So it's... maybe it's something in between or something, I don't know. So yeah, in later games, druids will get bonus from each, so it would stack up both personality and intellect for their spell point counts, which will be amazing, but it's not so in this game. Well, still, druids are pretty cool. Alright, so he is able to spot secret doors and has a direction sense. In his equipment list we have leather armor once again, a helmet, a leather cloak, leather boots, leather gauntlets, and a hand axe. Interestingly enough, something I didn't know earlier is that a hand axe is actually something that was used by the primitive human societies back in the early days, and these are very primitive stone tools that they used to work things, cut down trees and such, but they didn't even have any handles or anything. It's just a very sharp rock. So that's what a hand axe is. It's not an actual axe. So that's quite interesting. And yeah, the leather cloak made it look very nice looking there. It's made from 3 parts actually in HeroMachine 3. I added a hood, and if you look through the hood, he does have also a helmet. It's just hard to see through the hood itself. Alright, so let's go to the next character. Hoshi Sato, the female good human cleric. Highest stat being personality at 16, which is very good. And she is a swimmer and nothing else. In her equipment list we only have 4 items. One is a cudgel, which apparently is actually a sort of a walking staff that can also be used as a weapon. So this is the closest approximation that the HeroMachine 3 actually had for that, or at least that I found. Then she also has a standard shield, the same scale armor, and also leather boots. So that's all that she has equipped at the moment. So that's that, and then let's go to the last character of our group. T'Pol, the female neutral elf sorcerer, because the Vulcans aren't part of the game, unfortunately. But that's almost as good. So her highest stat is intellect at 18, which is ranked as high. And she is a cartographer. In her items... Well, this is a good thing I just checked. Apparently the padded armor that she had actually broke. Right. The items in this game actually can break whenever someone goes down. I think there is a small chance that they can break if they go unconscious, but most often they break when someone dies or gets eradicated. There's a higher chance of that. So we'll have to go to a shop and have that fixed. Yeah, I have to remember to do that. It's a bit of a nuisance and definitely a gold drain, but otherwise it's not that bad. Just have to check it every now and then. The other thing that she has is a helmet, then leather boots and leather gauntlets, and lastly a simple dagger. Daggers aren't that good, and perhaps a staff would be better for sorcerers, because sorcerers cannot use shields at all. But it's probably not really worth it to buy it. If I can find it during the adventures, then I will just equip that. So in HeroMachine 3 I managed to get a pretty good recreation of T'Pol. If you look through the helmet, hey, that's pretty accurate really, in terms of hairstyle. So that is that, and I will... well, I don't know actually. I might want to also add some of the hirelings into the Paperdolls, but we might be changing hirelings quite often, so I'm not really sure. Well, I guess I'll think a bit about it and decide later. So that will be that, and I will see you all in the main game of Might and Magic 3 Isles of Terra. See you all then. Later.